Hey guys, welcome back. Dr. T here, living your best life. I wanted to give a funny update, and since I'm looking at going to the Philippines, more just maybe morbid curiosity, I joined one of these online Filipino dating sites, right? Just to kind of, you've heard all the stories online if you've done any research and watched other YouTube channels and seen what that's like in the Philippines. So I was kind of curious and dipped my toe in the water, so to speak. So I wanted to give you just my very, very brief experience with it. And good and bad, and mostly bad, I would say, honestly. The good, or the upside of it, if there is any upside at all, is you get inundated with messages. I've only been on there very, very, very short time, and I've gotten literally over 200 messages. Where you compare or contrast that to a dating site in the US, you'll be lucky to get, 5 messages in a week, if you're lucky. So it's a little overwhelming, honestly, to try and sift through them all. So that's the upside. Now the downside, and I get it, there's good and bad in every country, every location that you're going to be in, but I've heard all the stories, watching some other YouTube channels when I was considering the Philippines or Thailand originally, on the scams, so to speak, and oh my God. So just in the less than a week I've been on there, I've already been attempted to be scammed at least a dozen times. So I'm going to tell you some of the red flags. I'm impervious to scanning, and I don't mean to pat myself on the back, but a lot of reasons for that I could get into maybe in some other videos, but I want to kind of keep this one light and funny. But I can't be scammed, so that's an impossibility. So my radar is always really keen in these situations. So I'm going to tell you some of the scams that have been run by me, so you don't get fall victim to them. So they all have a sob story that sums it up, right? Because they got to get you to feel sympathy for them, and they want to pull on your heartstrings, and they think every Western or anyone that doesn't come from the Philippines has money. And unfortunately, a lot of these young ladies are looking to scam people out of money, and they do that in a lot of different ways. So one of them was she didn't get paid this week, her boss didn't pay her, and she was hungry. Would I mind sending her a few dollars so she could buy some groceries, right? I'm not dumb enough, and maybe that's true, right? And that's how people get scammed. You try to, I always say it, I call it being someone's defense attorney, right? They come to their defense and say, well, what if that's true, right? Sure, get scammed. Send her $20, right? You'll never hear from her again. Or maybe she'll try to milk more money out of you, right? And chances are you're never going to actually meet them in person, and they'd make a living off of this kind of stuff, because $20 to them is a lot of money. So the other one was she had a small baby. He was less than a year old. She ran out of milk, and if I could wire her some money so she could go buy milk for the baby. And again, it's not heartless. It's just being called aware to kind of call bullshit on that situation and say, right, again, I'm not being heartless, but I'm not going to send someone 5,000 miles on the other side of the planet money that I've never met, and chances are I never will meet, right? But like I said, they make a living off of doing this. If it's the shotgun approach, I call it, right? They might try that with 20 guys, and if one of them is dumb enough to fall victim to it, then they made 20 bucks, right? Or 40 bucks or 50 bucks, however much someone dumbass is going to be willing to send them, right? And how often they're willing to do it. So to them, like I said, a lot of money. Other ones were real similar, and some of them are real quick to do it. They want to exchange a lot of messages. Maybe for a day, maybe two, and then then the sob stories start coming. They're a little slow to ask for the money, because I think that some of these people are better at it than others, right? Like any scammer. So some of them, they try to set the stage of making you feel bad for them. One of them, the scams, was she sent me a picture. I said, what's for dinner? And she sent me a picture of her dinner, and it was a pack of crackers. And I just like send a smiley face or something stupid back, right? And then a response was, Tony, I'm really hungry. So, and I don't even know what to say to that. Again, I'm not being a heartless bastard, right? But how do you respond? I'm sorry, that sucks. I don't know what related to say to that. And then, because I knew the sob stories were going to start pouring in, and then I knew eventually, soon after that, the money thing was going to come up, and sure enough, it did. I barely eat. I'm basically starving to death, and what I do eat is I live off of 1 pack of crackers a day, and my coworkers that I work with make fun of me because I'm poor, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, just stop with the lies. And like I said, if there's any shred of truth to it, yes, I feel bad for these people, but I am not going to be the dumb one to send them money, because they make a living off of this, and that's what they do. They scam people online. They put these dating profiles out there. And the other thing that they do, they're really good at this. Like I said, pulling on the heartstrings, telling sob stories, and getting you to feel bad for them. And two, one of the ways they do that is they look great, right? They're very attractive, very young, 22 to 30-year-old women that look amazing and in shape, and they say all the right things in their profiles, and they sound sweet, and it gets you thinking like, oh, this is possibly a potential person for me, right? So people want to believe, right? It's like wanting to believe in Santa Claus, right? You can want to believe it's true, but it doesn't make it so. So the other one, and this one, like I said, I'm impervious to being scammed, but this one, I wasn't scammed, and I wasn't even close to being scammed, and I kind of seen the red flags, but she was very good at it. So I'm going to tell you how this one went. She took her time, which is unusual. Like I said, some of them are better than others. She took her time, and it took her about a week of exchanging messages, but there were some red flags in there. One, her profile picture didn't match one of the pictures that she sent me. It literally looked like it could have been a different person. So giant red flag. And maybe it was an older picture. I didn't really ask, but as soon as I seen that, I'm like, okay, something doesn't jive here. The other thing was kind of a dating red flag online, if you're not aware of this, is if the pictures look too good, like too good of quality, right? Chances are they took those from just Googled, right? Some images, and got beautiful women and cropped them and made them look real. Because the pictures that she was sending me looked literally like professional grade photography pictures. And in the Philippines, you're not going to have that, right? Not many people are walking around with $2,000 cameras to take professional grade photographs of people that are staged and look perfect. And so that automatically was a red flag. But she was very talkative, and didn't appear to be trying to scam me at all, right? Just very getting to know you type conversation. No sob story, nothing, right? But then I just kind of had, like I said, my radar was up, because I'm like, something doesn't jive with this one. The scam is coming. I kept telling myself, the scam is coming, it just hasn't dropped yet, right? So sure enough, she asked me if I wanted to do a video call with her, and I said, sure. So she does, and there's no audio. I can't hear her. And she hangs up, and she said, oh, Tony, my microphone is broken on my computer. I'm like, okay, that's going to be what she asked for. Guarantee it. I'm thinking to myself, I don't say this to her, but I'm thinking to myself, that's what she's going to ask for. Doesn't even ask it that day. Like I said, some of them are good scammers. Doesn't ask it that day. A couple more days goes by, and she says, keeps saying, I really want a video chat with you because I feel like we can really get to know each other. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, that sounds great, right? But that sucks. Your audio's broken, I guess, And I even threw out some other options, like, what about your phone? Can you download WhatsApp? Maybe a different computer, blah, 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 blah. And she always had a reason why she couldn't do one of those things, right? So I knew the scam was coming. So then, sure enough, she tries to video call again with me, and again. Then she says, I hate to ask you this, but would you be able to send me some money so I could get my computer fixed? And my response was instantly the same as I've told them all. I'm not really sure if people fall for this, but I'm not going to send you money. I sympathize with your situation, and if you were real, one, you probably wouldn't ask me for money. And two, if we were maybe in a dating relationship and we were a real relationship and I was physically there, I don't have a problem spending money on stuff like that. I'm not cheap by any means, but I'm telling you, this is their scam that they pull. So if you're in another country looking at coming to the Philippines or Thailand or any country for that matter, these people are amazing at what they do. And that one was the best one. And like I said, I've only been on here a week. 1 week, and I probably had at least a dozen various scams. And like I said, they all set them up pretty similar. They have to have some kind of sobbing backstory to make you feel bad for them in order to want to send them money, right? And then they give you the glimmer of hope that, oh, I'm a young, beautiful woman, and I just don't have a relationship here in the Philippines, and I want a, great American man to, like a Prince Charming, come riding in on a white horse and save me type of mentality, right? And you think you're going to be that guy, right? Oh, what's $20 to me, right? I can wire $20 so this poor girl can get her microphone working, and then she'll continue. The next week she'll have some other bullshit story, right? And then, or she's just going to block you and disappear, and she made 40-50 bucks off you and disappeared. On to the next poor bastard that falls for it. So I just wanted to share some experiences with you, and I'm telling you, if you're so looking at doing something like that, dipping your toe in the online dating world overseas, maybe before you get here, maybe don't waste your time. I took my profile down because honestly, I think it's an utter waste of time. I don't have the time or the patience or the desire, for that matter, to sift through 50 scammers to get to the 5 good ones that are in there. And this, I'm not bashing on Filipinos, and I'm sure there's like I said, I've gotten over 200 messages. I'm sure not all 200 are scammers, and probably 100 of them or 150 of them are maybe great people actually looking for a real relationship. But a good percent of them, honestly, are scammers. So, and like I said, that's just a short test, so to speak. I was kind of curious, and that told me a lot of what I needed to know, honestly. So don't fall victim to their bullshit sob stories. Get a relationship if you're looking for one. When you actually get in country and you can meet them and see them face to face and judge for yourself, and always be cautious. General rule of thumb I have with people is I'm suspicious by nature. That just comes from my background and what I did for a living. But I tend to not believe people, and so that may help you out if you're looking at going overseas. So I thought maybe you guys would get a laugh out of that, and see if I can help anybody out that's looking at testing out the waters. So all right, see you guys.